Yeehaw! What's up? What's
What's
going on?
going on?
Not a whole
So,
lot,
so-
man. How you doing today?
oh, I'm good, dude. I'm good.
Glad to hear it,
Congratulations on a great week two. Well,
dude.
winning week two.
You say decent week too?
Win for you a winning week two.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Absolutely, it was a crazy week. So yes, you should definitely take that. Well, I am Dusty. This is my brother Hunter. This is Big Bet Bros week two reaction, and yeah, it was. Whew, it was a crazy week in the NFL. Upsets galore, blowouts, close games. And so we're just going to highlight our picks that we had for you. Um, Hunter went 4-3, I believe, and I went 3-5-1. So Hunter is now back to even on the season with his units. I am down 2, but have no fear. So when you can't lose confidence, you got to keep trucking along. So Hunter, Bills, Dolphins. That
Yep.
was the first game of the week, man. First game of the week. We were both on this one. The week started out well for us. We both picked Buffalo, although Buffalo didn't win the way I expected it to or expected
Right.
them to. So I won't say that I was right on the game. I had them to cover. Thought there was a good chance they could win, but I did not expect that game to go how it went at all. So, what are your thoughts? What was your reaction to Buffalo at Miami?
Buffalo at Miami. Well, not to give ourselves too much credit, but this game kind of went exactly how we thought it would. If you remember when we were talking about betting on the game, we said, Miami is a good regular season team. They're good early in the year, but we didn't think that they'd have an answer for Josh Allen and that Buffalo Bills offense. And I think for the most part that was true. Uh, I was kind of surprised that Miami wasn't able to score more
For sure.
on the Bills. Did that kind of shock you as well?
Yeah, so that was the thing I was going to say is I didn't expect them to struggle as much as they did. Tua had the 3 interceptions, and we'll get into the concussion thing a little
Right.
bit too, but which is awful, sucks. But no, I definitely was shocked that the Bills defense looked like they did, and the Dolphins offense looked like they did. So
I'm with
definitely.
you.
What do you think about Tua? I mean, everybody's got an opinion on it.
I haven't thought an awful lot about it because it feels like this game took place a month ago because so much happened in week 2, and I'm being honest when I say that. But just right now, my instant reaction to something that happened last Thursday, I worry for his health genuinely, and I just want him to do whatever is best for him.
Sure.
By the reports, it's saying that he's not thinking about retiring. He's not going to retire. So if that's what he wants to do, then cool. I mean, he's got my blessing. It's not like he needs anybody's confirmation or whatever. So
Yeah. No, yeah, everybody's got an opinion on it. I'm the same way. It's up to him. I mean, I know what I would
absolutely.
do in that situation, but I'm not the one there. So it just sucks. I think the worst part is, when we're all watching the games, like I was watching that game and I had thought probably about 15 minutes prior, I'm like, man, like I had forgot about the concussions. I forgot that it was an issue. And I was thinking about how much, hey, they had paid him. He just got the new contract. And when you watch that and you see that happen and a hit that's pretty normal in football, and I know everybody's talking about this or everybody has talked about it, but just to see that hit affect him in the way that it did, yeah, it sucks. So anyway, we started the week off good with the Bills taking care of business. After that, it didn't really get. It just kind of went downhill for me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. Oh, okay. We got Ravens. We had Ravens -8.
Okay.
I mean, nobody picked the Raiders to beat them. If you picked the Raiders to beat them, you were just jumping on. You were shooting a long shot, hoping that it hit. Get lucky. Which this is why everybody loves the NFL. This is why we watch the NFL, because you have the Raiders going into Baltimore, and just really shocking everybody. So
Yeah.
I was actually, besides the bet, I was really happy to see it because I love seeing them start 0-2.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I do want to say something about the stream. There is a chance that my camera dies here in a few, so if that does happen, it'll be just you on screen for a second. So
Okay.
don't let the show go to hell in the
No worries.
20, 30 seconds that it takes. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Anybody that says they knew that the Raiders would beat the Ravens, I think is being dishonest. Now, there were a lot of people in our comment section on TikTok said, hey, I'm taking the Raiders +8 in this matchup, and that's totally fair, and I can see where people would have taken that. But just
100%.
a straight up money line win for the Raiders, I think that's probably one of the biggest shocks of week 2. So
no doubt, 100%. And we'll talk. I'll touch on this, but one of the things, and if you learn any lessons from maybe some mistakes we made this week, number one was too many games. Number two, when you have multiple games that you're really playing with a lot of points and taking favorites with a lot of points, that's normally a recipe. And I knew that, and I still did it anyway.
yeah,
but that's why it's early. That's why it's the beginning, and just got to get better with it. So next one, Chargers -6. All right, this one, I felt good about this one the whole time. I mean, because of how the Panthers looked. Obviously, they've made a quarterback change since. We talked about the chance that they were going to make a change anyway last week on the podcast. Dude, have you ever seen a quarterback look worse than Bryce Young? I mean,
I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen a team look worse than the Carolina Panthers in a while. If you remember, I said before the game, I said that this team is giving me the feeling of the 0-16 Lions from, however many years ago that was. But I don't pin it solely on Bryce Young because, dude, the offensive line play is atrocious. I don't think Mahomes would be able to score very many touchdowns in that offense. And it doesn't help, obviously, that Bryce Young is super, super short. A lot of people make the comparison. Well, Kyler Murray's short, and he's still able to make it work. Well, Kyler Murray can get outside of the pocket and make stuff happen. Bryce Young isn't as fast as Kyler Murray. And I think even Adam Thielen, I saw a clip today where he was talking about this isn't a Bryce Young issue. This is a deeper issue. And a lot of people on social media are accusing ownership of basically the team not succeeding, and I'm really more in that camp, and I'm really more of that opinion because it's just absolute tragedy all the way down. From ownership, all that stuff, defense, offense, and that's why I loved this bet that we both agreed on this past week for the Harbaugh Chargers to win by at least 6 points. I'm glad that we didn't. I'm glad that we stuck with our bet instead of going, oh, is it a trap? Is it not? We did the smart thing there. So
yeah, and is my mic still working okay?
Yeah, everything's working.
Okay. It keeps kind of going in and out. So yeah, and I, to add to that, the last thing, and then we'll move on. But we talked about over and over and over about quarterback.
Hey, real quick, your mic just stopped working, so check that out if you can. No audio. If you look down there, Dusty, there you go.
How about now?
Yep, you're good. It just keeps auto muting. You got to keep an eye on it.
For some reason, it keeps kicking it off. I don't know. So, yeah, confidence-wise, I mean, if you're not in a good system, if you're not in a good situation, it's really hard in the NFL to be a rookie quarterback, to be a young quarterback, and we've seen it over and over again. That's why Mahomes is so successful. I mean,
absolutely.
He's had Andy Reid. He was in a great situation. We haven't seen anybody else come and sit behind a veteran quarterback that teaches them, that mentors them. And, I mean, who's to say that if Mahomes goes to a different scenario, different situation, that he is what he is. So anyway, Mike's still good to go, Hunter?
Yes, sir. Everything is good. Got to
Okay.
open my door because the dog is acting out of pocket.
All right,
But,
next game. I played this one. Hunter, you did not. I took the 49ers -5. This line actually moved. It moved a little bit more in favor of Minnesota by the time the game started. But this was another shocker. All right, nobody had this from a money line standpoint. Obviously, the spread was one thing, but an outright win really controlled the game from the start. The Vikings look good. The first 2 weeks. Sam Darnold looks really good. They look like a complete team, and so it's interesting with them moving forward. That the line that they've got this week is a game we've already talked about, and kind of one of those things where do you start to overreact, right? Do you overreact, or do you let what you've seen and what you think you knew starting the year? Do you still let that take go into effect and bring that into play with some of these picks? So anyway, shocker there. Debo's out for a couple weeks.
Yep.
McCaffrey's on IR. I do think the Niners bounce back this week, but we'll talk more about that later. Next one, let's see. Another one I had was the Jets -3. Okay, Hunter, you had the Titans +3.5 on this, correct?
Yeah, and dude, I would say for 95, 97% of that game, that was looking like the correct side of the bet.
Agree.
Will Levis just couldn't put quite enough mayonnaise on his throw, and he threw another terrible interception, dude. That guy, I don't know. He's just the classic example of somebody that has tons of physical gifts, but there's something in his brain that's just not clicking yet. But I was talking to a friend of mine I work with here in the Nashville area. He's a big Titans guy, obviously, and he was talking about the Titans with me. And I asked him, I was like, man, are you a little worried about Will Levis? And he's like, no, he'll come along, he'll develop. And while I wanted to give him a hard time, I did point out to him, I said, man, something positive you can kind of view this as. Josh Allen looked pretty bad in his first year of NFL play. So I'm not saying that Will Levis is Josh Allen, but I am saying that, whenever these new quarterbacks come in, almost all of them struggle early if they haven't been sitting behind a quarterback that is a good mentor.
Yeah. No, he just reminds me so much of Ryan Tannehill. I don't know if that's just because they're kind of built the same. They both kind of move the same. I don't know. Tannehill was quicker, but I don't know. I don't really see it with him, but I mean, you're right. Like, there's time to develop, and I think one of the mistakes sometimes that teams make too early is, they either hang with their guy way, way, way too long, or they cut it way too short. And so I still think we're in that grace period of trying to figure that out with him, because it's just the decision making. It's a couple bad decisions here and there that are really costing them. So they could easily be 2-0 right now.
Yeah. Dude, Calvin Ridley looks unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean,
gosh.
Yeah. Dude's a stud.
He is insane. That's why the Titans have burned me 2 weeks in a row, but at some point, I'm gonna take a break from them this week. I'll just give you a spoiler alert, but dude, I think at some point there's a good possibility they get it figured out this season and start hitting a little win streak.
Yeah. Well, one other game that I played that you did not was the Rams. Oh my gosh. Yeah. What in the absolute cluster hell was that?
I don't know, man.
Dude. So that makes Buffalo's game against Arizona the first week look a little different. That was just an absolute domination station by Arizona. I mean, they absolutely, from start to finish, dominated that game. Was never even a conversation. Rams have nobody left. They have no Puka. They have no Cooper Kupp. They look atrocious. And then they get to go play the 49ers this week and watch who knows, this 49ers-Rams game. That's probably the way things are going right now. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Rams look really good in that game.
Well, and forgive me because at this point, I'm basically a NFL Red Zone fan. I see little bits and pieces. I'm too busy to watch the all
All
what is it?
22.
The all 22 of every single game. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. But what happened? What happened to Cooper Cup? I didn't even know about that.
He's out. He's
For
out.
season or for a week?
No, I don't think it's for the season. I think he's just on IR.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on the length of time right now.
Okay. Do you know
But
what happened to him?
it's gonna be a little while. He was pretty sure he was in a boot just like Pacheco.
So he's got some kind of like lower leg injury.
Yeah, I'll do some. I know he's not playing this week.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, no.
So-
Yeah. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just didn't know if you knew because I really had no clue. But
Yeah, not looking good. Not looking good for the receiving core up there in Los Angeles and those Rams. So, man, that was another shocker though. I mean, nobody thinks that the Rams are getting beat like that against the Cardinals.
yeah. Well, I don't mean to rub it in too much because I know that this was a game that you had going the other way, but you kind of got two strikes here. You thought that the Rams would, make it at least a close game, and then also you thought Kyler Murray was cooked and that he's terrible. Dude, he's looking like the MVP right now. Him or Derek Carr.
Okay, slow down. Okay, MVP? No. Okay, he has looked good the first 2 weeks. I do give you that.
I know, but that's the only sample size we've got.
And I will admit that I'm not a Kyler Murray fan. I haven't been. And I've got there's a large sample size to show evidence for why I'm not a Kyler Murray fan. Now, does he look good these first 2 weeks? Does he look like he's more dialed in? Absolutely. And Marvin Harrison Jr. really didn't do anything week 1. He looked like as advertised on Sunday. Okay, so
yeah.
We got two extremes here. You've got Marvin Harrison Jr. doing nothing. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. looking like he's freaking Randy Moss. So we'll see. We will see. It definitely is different energy though with Arizona.
It is, and I will say this: do you remember a couple years ago when right out of the gate Arizona started out the first 6, 7, 8 games? They looked like they look right now, where Kyler Murray just looks like, top 3, top 4 MVP candidate. Do you remember that?
They started like 9-0 that year.
They did. Yeah. This is not that now. Full transparency. This isn't a team that I really believe in is going to make some kind of crazy push in the playoffs. They might. They absolutely. It's the NFL. You never know. But I just think it's interesting that he's doing what he's doing. So it's
no doubt,
and it's super entertaining, dude. Like I would be curious as someone. You say that you don't like him. You're not a fan of him. Do you find him entertaining to watch when he's playing the way that he's playing now?
Yeah, right now. Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
for sure.
That's fair.
I've normally liked playing it. I loved when the Chiefs play against them because he's kind of wild, turns it over a lot. Yeah, he can make big plays, and so far he has. So we'll see. For me, the jury's still out on whether or not it's real. And if it is, you're 100% right from the entertainment factor. If he's making plays and they're winning games and he's electric like he has been so far, heck yeah, let's go.
Love it. What game would you like to discuss next?
Well, you called me out for having 2 strikes. I told you that last week that you should probably jump off the Patriots because you used them already. Well, they came through for you again. So talk about that.
I said it. This pick felt terrible, just like the Titans pick felt terrible. But I don't know, man. The Patriots still don't strike me as a very good team, but through the first 2 weeks, which really means nothing in the grand scheme, through the first 2 weeks, they do seem like a disciplined, just old school, like they play really good defense. They run the ball really well. I like them as a team to cover spreads because they don't do anything special, but they also don't do a lot to hurt themselves either. And when you got a team like that, you don't got to get the straight up win, and I think just how bad they were last year, this could possibly be a team that covers a lot of spreads this year, just because they have the ability to hang around.
Yeah, and they're gonna constantly be underdogs, right? They're gonna be constantly be underdogs, most of the time by more than a field goal. And so, no, that's a really really good point. I 100% agree with you. And they have who they have this week, the Jets, and isn't that line like 6.5, 6.5, 7?
You betcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, gosh, yeah, interesting from them so far. So, next game. Ooh. Let's talk about. Hang on. I want to save the Chiefs game for last. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's save the Chiefs and Bengals for last. So, hit up the Titans for you. I think we went through all your picks. You ended up. You didn't play the Monday night game. Good job not playing that game.
Thank you.
So yeah, you ended up 4-3 on the week. And then let's see. Yeah, we've talked about all of yours. Oh, wait. Hey, Commanders and Giants. You took the under the 43 on that.
Yep.
Man, your reasoning last week, and I didn't take your advice. I kind of advised. I mean, I just didn't roll with you on that. You were 100% spot on. I mean, 100% spot on. You said two bad teams, two quarterbacks that, Daniels hasn't really showed anything yet. He's looking okay. But they're just trying to play kind of complementary football. Nothing offensively. They're not really clicking yet. Now, I don't know. Did you get the turnovers? Remember you talked about the turnovers? Did you play that parlay, or was the turnovers a factor?
Your mic got muted again. No, I didn't. That was actually for the Eagles game. I thought the Eagles would turn it over a bunch. I did have the Eagles turning it over, but I had it by way of fumble, and they threw an interception, so I was wrong on that.
Got it.
Also, hey, real quick. Yeah. Hey, pick something to talk about real quick because I've got to swap my battery out. It's down to one ball.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Let me put you. Hold on. Let me get you in solo mode real quick.
Yeah, so Hunter didn't play either one of these games. He didn't play the Texans. He didn't play the Monday night game with Philly and Atlanta. And both of those games, I mean, Texans game, pushed on that one. There's really not much to say on that. Caleb Williams turning it over like crazy. They look like they've got a ton of potential. But, yeah, I mean, the Texans are just a better football team. Okay, so that was another one that was a big spread. Wish I would have taken them at 5.5, obviously in hindsight. But they pushed on that. And then another shocker on Monday night. I mean, Philadelphia losing at home. That one was on pace to be a push as well. Another big spread. And, yeah, what a drive by Kirk Cousins and the Falcons at the end of that football game to come out with an outright win. So one of the things that Hunter and I are going to do next is really talk about our reaction to the Chiefs at Bengals game. That was a game that we were wrong on as well. And we're going to kind of put it to Cincinnati and really handle them. Every game that they've played has been close, and we just thought it was time for the Chiefs to actually have one where it wasn't. And we were wrong on that. Credit to the Bengals. But the thing that we're going to talk about more than anything is the reaction to the officiating and to really just the whining and the consensus that we heard this week from Bengals fans. So Hunter gets back. We'll jump on there and talk about that. If you guys are on here at all, if you've jumped in or if you're watching this after the fact, chime in with some of the picks that you had, your results. Hunter and I do have something that we're going to roll out probably next week. That's going to be more real time. So one of the things that's difficult about when we put these out is kind of actually in the worst spot statistically from a line standpoint. A lot of the plays that we actually make are earlier than today, or later, right before games start, because things have moved so much. And we'll read those, and we'll kind of figure out where the public's been, where it's moving. And there's a lot of things, injuries, guys being, held out of games right before it starts. And so we have something we're going to roll out probably next week when we figure out exactly how that's going to look. And we'll talk about that a little bit as well. But yeah, if you're on here or you're watching this after the fact, definitely chime in with comments on what you guys played. We'd love to see, you guys have winning weeks, right? Even if it's different from what we're doing. We're just trying to jump on here and give you kind of our analysis, our thought process, and roll from there. So,
yes, sir.
So Hunter, while you were off of here, talked about a couple things. We're going to just give a little bit of insight on what we've got coming up maybe next week with the package that we're going to throw out there. And I just kind of explained the reasoning behind that, as far as us looking at stuff early and then us looking at stuff late based on movement. Because when we're putting these out there in the middle of the week. And then before we get to that, I want to talk about the reaction really to the Chiefs and Bengals, okay, which is a game that we were both wrong on. We both thought it was going to be a little bit wider than that. Thought the Chiefs would handle the Bengals a little easier than they did. So, yeah, what were your thoughts, man?
My thoughts on Chiefs versus Bengals?
Yeah.
Man, I was completely wrong. I was totally wrong about the direction that the game was going to go. I'm struggling hard with this microphone. Gosh, I'm slumped in my chair. All right. Yeah, dude, I was totally wrong about it. I thought that the Bengals would struggle simply because it was the first 2 weeks of the season. They always struggle with every team the first 2 weeks of the season. And I just figured that they would really struggle against us. But, man, was I wrong. This was part of the ultimate Chiefs-Bengals experiment that I had never seen before. But from now on, I know that Bengals will play us close any year, any place, any time. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. And, I was at the game on Sunday, and even walking in before the game started, thinking about the pick that we had both made, I was kind of hitting myself. Before it even started, I was just thinking, you idiots. Like, every time the Chiefs and Bengals play, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. No. It doesn't matter if it's early, if it's late. If the Bengals look good, if the Chiefs look good, it's two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. It's two teams with championship pedigree.
Yep.
And it's just a fight. It's a heavyweight fight every single time. And so for us to think anything different was really just being kind of cocky as Chiefs fans. I mean,
it absolutely was.
For me.
For sure. And I had even said it before I made the pick. I said, I usually don't like to bet on the Chiefs because I can be blinded by my own bias, and that can sometimes make my logic be flawed. But I like said verbatim, I was like, but today my logic and my bias align because here's what's going to happen, dude. Anytime in betting you think for sure what's going to happen, you're probably on the wrong side. Is that right, Dusty?
Seems to feel that way. Seems to go that way a lot.
Gosh. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It was definitely a very humbling game. But from a non-betting perspective, let's talk about that real quick. Because obviously we were wrong and we were idiots for betting the way we did. But just from like a Chiefs fan perspective, what did you think of the game?
So, so one of the trends with the Chiefs, and I don't think it's just the Chiefs, but we see it so much because that's what we're glued to, is we leave points off the board so much. We do. And, we had first and goal from the 1 on our first drive after we had just held them to a field goal. And, we didn't get anything out of it. We got a field goal. All right. I thought offensively we moved the ball, and we moved the ball okay. We did all right. I thought that, Mahomes had 2 interceptions that were pretty uncharacteristic. He didn't see the linebacker on his first one. The ball to Xavier Worthy, which we're going to get to this one, but the ball to Xavier Worthy and that pick that I think it was Cam Taylor-Britt, or I think that's his name. Dude, that was one of the best interceptions that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That was absolutely just insane. I mean, underthrown ball. It probably shouldn't even have been thrown, but he made a phenomenal play on it. I thought defensively that early on it was really evident that they wanted to get Joe Burrow outside the pocket with a lot of bootleg stuff and kind of make things a little easier for him. And I thought that was really, really effective. Nick Bolton had some good plays. He played better in week 2 than he did in week 1. Gesicki still gave us trouble. I think there was a play, I don't know, I think it was 4th down early on in that game that he had that huge play on the first drive, actually. That really big, I think it was like a 35, 40-yard gain. And I could be wrong on some of these. Like I said, I was up in the stands, and, I just thought that the Chiefs didn't play their best offensively, but they made enough plays to win the game. Yeah. And, the thing that we heard immediately after was the officiating, okay? And the Chiefs, I had Instagram message, text messages, Facebook messages from friends of mine that are, fans of other teams, and everybody, oh, you guys are the New England Patriots now. You get every single call. Guys, that's just not true. It is absolutely not true. And I'm going to give you guys a little history lesson on some of this stuff too, because first off, just in that game alone, right before the pass interference on the 4th down and 16 that Rashee Rice clearly got interfered with. He was jumping up to get the ball. He got hit early. No one watching that game would say that's not pass interference.
Nope.
Okay. But unless you don't have eyes, okay, you cannot say that wasn't pass interference. But you have the people say, okay, well, you can't call it in that situation. Literally the play before, on 4th and 6, the Chiefs have like a 25-yard gain to Rashee Rice right over the middle. There's a flag for illegal hands to the face on the offensive lineman on the play right before that.
Which could have been the last play of the game.
Correct. In that quote unquote situation. Okay. So It happened. The PI was just as much PI as the hands to the face was hands to the face.
Yep.
Okay. The PIs that Jamar Chase has gotten over the years, the defensive pass interferences against the Chiefs when Jamar Chase is running down the field and he pulls the defender down, which he did in this game once again.
Yep.
Guys running stride for stride, step for step, great coverage, and Jamar Chase sells that. That has happened over and over and over again. All right.
He pulls them down and simultaneously falls and then throws his hands back like, what happened? Whenever he's the one that caused it. Yeah.
But the biggest thing, I got to thinking about this. I want you to go back to January 2nd, 2022. It is week 17. This is the first game. This is when the rivalry started right here. All right. This is the year that the Bengals knocked the Chiefs off in the AFC Championship game. All right. So this was a very important situation here. The Chiefs tie it up at Cincinnati. It's week 17, 31-31, 6 minutes to go. Chiefs have 2 penalties on that drive before it ever gets down into Cincinnati or into the Chiefs territory. All right. There was an offsides. There was a defensive holding. And there's about a little over 2 minutes to go. Bengals have the ball at like the 12-yard line. They get a first down. Chiefs have all 3 timeouts. It's first and goal from the 1. All right. QB sneak. Chiefs stuff them. Second down. QB sneak. Chiefs stuff them. Third and goal. Joe Mixon Stuffed. Okay. 4th and goal. Chiefs have stuffed them. All right. 3 straight plays. Chiefs have no timeouts left. 45 seconds to go in the game. They go for it on 4th down. So it's not like the Bengals were going to get a field goal out of this.
Yeah.
Right? Bengals go for it on 4th down. Defensive holding in the end zone on the Chiefs. Offensive holding on the Bengals. Penalties are offsetting. They replay it. The Bengals go for it again. They choose not to kick the field goal and take the 3-point lead. 4th and goal again. Chiefs played it perfect. Stop them. Incomplete pass, Joe Burrow. Illegal hands to the face on the Chiefs.
Yep.
Bengals take a knee, kick a field goal as the time expires. Game over. Chiefs never see the football again.
Yep.
Shut up. Okay?
Yep.
That's it. I mean, there's no more to it. There's no more to it than that. Just stop. Ja'Marr Chase, the only other thing, and this gets me fired up. I mean, I don't see anybody trying to hold Ja'Marr Chase accountable for his actions, being a whiny crybaby, losing his absolute cool, losing his mind, killing the flow of the game for the Bengals when they're trying to put it away early in the 4th quarter.
So Dusty and I had talked about this on the phone basically right after the game, and Dusty was at the game. So, and I was watching it at home, so we had a little bit different recollections of what happened. I had originally told my brother that he was wrong when he said this, but he's not wrong. So his original claim to me was that the Bengals lost because Ja'Marr Chase was whining, and I was like, no, man, that's not true, because they ended up replaying the down, and they got all the yardage back and then just kicked a field goal. I was actually wrong about that. I went back and watched the game. So they threw it to Ja'Marr Chase on 2nd down, right? It was about to be 3rd and 7, and because the penalty was after the play, they didn't replay the down. Instead of being 3rd and 7, it was now 3rd and what's 15? 3rd and 20, 22 or whatever. Hey, your thing's muted again. But yeah. So all they had to do was get 7 more yards. They get to run the clock out, kick a field goal, win the game.
No, it wouldn't have. So they wouldn't. It was still, there was about 10 minutes left in the game, so it was still early in the 4th. But they were up. They were up on us.
Okay. Well,
and they're trying to go. I mean, really take complete control of the game.
Complete control of the game. I was sweating, and then that play happened, and that was the defining moment where all of the momentum completely switched over to the Chiefs, and it was because he was whining about something.
McDuffie tackled him too hard.
He wanted the ref to call a hip drop tackle, and somebody made a really good point about this, actually. In a way, this is partly the Bengals organization. It's partly their fault, because they made all these promises to Ja'Marr Chase that he was going to get paid $100 million guaranteed. Well, season rolls around, he's getting $0 guaranteed, and he's worried that if he keeps playing, he's going to get injured and he's not going to get a contract. So he is already hyper aware, he's already on edge that he's going to get injured. Well, he thinks that he gets hip dropped, which is a very dangerous play. That's why they banned it. That's what made him lose his mind. This is what somebody brought up. I don't know if it's true or not, but the theory is that that's what made him lose his mind. So it's kind of the Bengals' fault for not paying him and for messing around with his emotions and his livelihood. So they're to blame. Jamar's to blame. Just classic Bengals. Like, hey, you almost had it, but you guys are just not competent whenever it matters. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear? Yeah, it keeps auto-muting you.
Yeah, am I back?
There you go.
I love Ja'Marr Chase. I would love to have him on my team. There's not very many guys on the Chiefs that I wouldn't trade to get Ja'Marr Chase. He absolutely deserves to get paid. As a Chiefs fan, do I love to hate him? Absolutely. Yes, yeah. I do. But I love the smack talk. I love his little locker room press conferences when he's running his mouth about Mahomes and Burrow, and I think it's fun. It's what makes it entertaining. But he's not on the Chiefs. He's a Bengal, and I don't like him. But the other thing people are forgetting about too, I mean, the turnover by Burrow. They just had that pick on that play that we discussed earlier, and to turn that, into a scoop and score. Yeah. I mean,
Crazy.
the Chiefs just made more plays to win the game. I mean, they did what they do. I mean, Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. If you give him the ball under 2 minutes, he's going to go score. You have Harrison Butker, who I wouldn't want any kicker over him. Yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, that's about enough Chiefs and Bengals talk, but we're 2-0, they're 0-2.
And I love every second of it.
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
All right, what else you want to talk about?
So I would say last thing, just kind of be on the lookout next week. Obviously, we're really new into this, guys. Hunter and I have done really well the last couple of years, and we're putting these out. Our picks for the week are going to come out tomorrow. And really, from a timing standpoint, it's kind of a tough spot to put them out on a Wednesday or Thursday, okay? Because you're not getting on the lines early, and you're not getting on the lines late. And a lot of the money that really moves the lines either comes in early or comes in late. All right, so a lot of the plays that you and I actually do are typically a half point to a point different than what we even talk about on the show. So what we're going to want to put out for you guys, and it's really simple, is essentially get into you guys are going to have access to see what we're doing live when we do it. Whenever we place something, you'll get notified of exactly what we're placing and when we place it. And that's something I think is going to, benefit you all, which is our goal, is to help you guys be profitable with this and win more than you're losing. So for example, week one on the actual picks, I actually won 2 other games than what I put out there, but based on the picks, I got them in at different times. Right. So, at the end of the day, we're trying to win here. So something that we'll probably put out next week.
And I want to add to that. This is not just as simple as, hey, we're brand new at this. We're trying to automatically roll out a subscription-based perk, and we're trying to make money immediately. That's not what this is about. I'll tell you what the other angle of it that it is about. It's also about education. So there's a lot of people who are brand new to sports betting, like I was 2 seasons ago, had no clue about lines, no clue about spreads, any of that stuff. Now, I have a little bit better eye for, oh, wow, that's a really good line. I better buy that right now because it's not going to stay like that. And I'll give you an example. So, let's see. It would have been Tuesday.
It was Monday.
Yeah. Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. whenever I got up, because I was working at the fire hall the night before, I got on DraftKings. And the New Orleans Saints, who are on an insane tear right now, they just beat the Cowboys, beat the hell out of the Cowboys. So the Saints are playing the Eagles at home this coming week. I was able to get the Saints plus 2.5 as home dogs, right? Now the line is Saints minus 2.5 at home as favorites. So, guys, that is a 5-point swing, and I got the line possibly at the perfect time, and I want to share that info with people. Like, if I get a really good line, something that is very favorable, I want to at least let you guys know about it. Do you have to play it? No. But also, if you want to just observe, like, oh, why is Hunter taking the Saints, plus 2.5? Oh, shoot, it moved to minus 2.5. I see why he did that. He got in on it early, and that was a really good play. Now the Saints might get crushed by 40 to the Eagles. That's anything's on the board, obviously. But yes, we want to show you guys our picks, and we want you to roll with us all season. But also, we want to show you guys from an educational standpoint kind of how we view lines and why we pick when we pick. So I probably
and the other that's a phenomenal point, because when you sent me that you already had that, I was like, I thought you just sent it backwards. I'm like, what the heck? And
right.
The other piece, I mean, AJ Brown, we don't really find out. I found out Monday. It might have been out earlier, but there's no way I'm picking the Eagles
by a touchdown on Monday night if I know AJ Brown's out, right? But we put this out, last Wednesday, right? So stuff moves early, stuff moves late, and so that's the whole reason why we're going to do that, just for you all. And like Hunter just said, even just to observe, right? And guys, if we're wrong on stuff, I know I've had people, the very first week, Toby, who's watching right now, he sent me a couple that I was dead wrong on. He was wrong, actually, but we love to hear about it, right? That's what we're doing this for fun. We're doing this to get engagement. And so, like I said earlier, Hunter, when you were off switching your cam, post your stuff, right? Post what you guys did, right? Post your results from the week. We're posting our results. Everything we put out here, I had a rough week. We're posting these out there for you. We're putting it out. We're not going to try to hide stuff, but
not at all.
The live thread that we want to get with you guys, so you can see what's happening live. That's definitely something that will be beneficial for you all. And yeah, Toby, your parlay did hit. It did. And Jeremy sent me a couple others too. I think he went 1 and 2. So yeah, the parlays. Hey, the other thing we got coming. All right. I know this is NFL. We have a very, very, I don't know. He's a stud at it. We're going to have a little bit of college action as well from somebody who specializes in it. They're very, very good at the college game, specifically player props in college. All right. This is a guy who has coached at the college level. I've seen the results that he has. He's going to come on here weekly and just give a few player props for us, as well as just maybe 3 to 4 games on the slate for college that you guys can get on as well. So that'll be happening soon as well. Hunter, anything else, my man?
I don't think so. I just want to say thank you guys again. We kind of have a lot of the same people popping up in our comments whenever we do these live streams. Still a very small page, so appreciate you guys more than ever that keep coming back, keep tuning in. Eli Fondren, very good to have you today, brother. Thank you so much for the comments. And
yeah, Eli, I hope you're doing well, man. With your health as well, dude. I've been kind of following what's going on that, so I hope you're healing up, buddy. Hope you're just getting better overall. So
absolutely. But yeah, if you guys are a fan of what we're doing, make sure to follow us on all of the platforms. We are on everything except for Snapchat, and that's because I don't know how to make a second Snapchat. But yeah,
I don't think you can.
You probably can't. But yeah, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything. So if you guys like what we're doing, man, just follow us on all that stuff if you're not already, and just spread the word of mouth. Dusty, tell them a little bit about what you've been experiencing there in the hometown.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. It seems like everywhere I go, people like just walk up and say something about it. Hey, how's that going? That's awesome that you guys are doing that. People that you wouldn't think, or that I wouldn't think, would have known about it, would have had an interest in it. And so, yeah, that's really, really awesome, man. I know, like, even if you're sharing one of our posts and in your share, you're saying, man, these guys were wrong. These guys suck. Like, stuff like that. Like, it doesn't, be a little bit nice. Try not to be too bad, but, yeah, any kind of sharing or any kind of spreading the word, like you just said, Hunter, just makes a ton of difference. And we really appreciate it. Especially those of you that have kind of been excited about this from day one, when we kind of told people we were going to do it, and found out week 1 that we were doing it. We didn't really tell a lot. And so those of you that have really been supportive, we just appreciate it. We just want to say thanks. So,
yep.
I
echo.
It's pretty neat that this is something we get to do every single week when you're 8 hours away. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say is, it's not investing, it's gambling. So if you're talking shit in our picks down below, you're probably just rambling. Thank you for tuning in to the Big Bet Bros, guys. The best show.
We'll be back tomorrow with week 3 picks.
All right.
See you guys.
Yeah. See you.